Joining me now is the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass. Madam Mayor, thank you for joining us tonight. First of all, it's been a busy weekend for your city with the No Kings demonstrations, the National Guard and Marine presence, and the ongoing immigration raids. What is the mood in Los Angeles at this hour?
Well, it's definitely mixed, and happy Father's Day to you, Rev.
Thank
and
you.
I think about the fathers in Los Angeles who frankly are missing right now, where the families don't know where they are, and the children don't know where they are. But, you know, having said that, I mean, I think that there was a lot of energy yesterday. There were over 15 protests that took place all over the city, the largest one being over 20,000 people downtown. And then there's also the mood of fear. So this morning, I spent my morning in East Los Angeles, traditional Mexican-American community, and it's Father's Day. The restaurants were completely empty. The iconic gathering place, Mariachi Plaza, was empty. And I went in and I talked to the restaurant owners, and they said there should be lines outside of our restaurants now. But people are afraid to go to work. They're afraid to go to school. They're afraid to go to church. Some of the churches are doing hybrid services that had not done them before. They're afraid to go shopping. And we have a situation where people are afraid to go to the grocery store. So we're looking at ways through labor and other community organizations to do food delivery. Nannies, I would imagine, are going to become afraid to go to work because nannies were also swept up in the raids. So you have a real mixed situation. Now, yesterday was the No Kings March, which you know had been planned for a long time. But given what has been happening here, the atmosphere of fear as to never knowing where the government is going to go and raid your school, your place of worship, or whatever, that people also were more energized for the No Kings rally than if that hadn't happened. I know it would have been big anyway, but probably not as big as it was yesterday.
Now the immigration raids have been the center, it's been at the center of what's going on right now in your city. And with this being Father's Day, I'm reminded of the human toll. Because in many cases, there are families being torn apart over the Trump administration's policies. I want to hear from you about the human damage this purge has caused the residents of your city, Ms. Mayor.
Right, and you know, this started off, as you remember, with violent felons, just gang members, you know, people who committed horrific crimes. I don't know, but I don't think that's what's going on now. I realize Secretary Noem put up some photographs of some people, I think it was 4 or 5. There's hundreds of people that have been detained. But, Rev, that's also part of it, too. We don't have the specific information because people are not allowed to contact their family members and they're not allowed to have legal counsel. And that is a marked departure from what has happened in this city before. But with everything that I described in terms of the restaurants, the stores, the workplaces, and all, this has been a real blow to the economy of Los Angeles. We have the fashion industry where there's over 4,000 independent businesses, and that's a ghost town. So, you know, when you hit major sectors of our economy by creating a sense of fear, you really could destabilize the economy of Los Angeles, which was already tight from everything that had been going on.
Now, Republicans in the House have already vowed to investigate you and Governor Gavin Newsom over your response to the ICE protests in Los Angeles. What is your message to Republicans who are trying to blame the worst violence from the demonstrations on the state's Democratic leadership?
Well, and Rev, you know Los Angeles, so you know how big Los Angeles is. 500 square miles. The protests where there had been incidents of violence is about 2 square miles of our city. So they're trying to paint a picture as though there's mass civil unrest around the city, and it's just not true. And so I think that's the most important thing. So you're blaming us for what? You're blaming us because there were protesters and people not affiliated with the protests. You know how that works. At the end of an event, they're stragglers and they come along and they vandalize or they loot. That happened for 2 days. We've had a curfew going on. Friday night, 19 people were arrested. believe it or not, on Saturday, the big protest day, 5 people were arrested. 5 people were arrested. 33 were given citations, which is equal to a traffic ticket.
Now, what are your
So yes, there have been problems.
Well, what are you focused on in the coming days, Mayor Bass? What are your biggest concerns right now?
Well, one, the impact on the workforce. You know, our construction industry would not function without immigrant labor. So maybe getting the president, obviously the goal is to get him to stop the raids. There's no question about that. But he's given a couple of exemptions. He's given exemptions to agricultural areas. Well, you know this is on Los Angeles. We don't have agricultural areas. He's also exempted, you know, some hotels. You know, so if you're having second thoughts about a couple of industries, could you please do an economic analysis of the city and see how it is negatively impacting the city? We are the largest city in the state of California and the second largest city in the country. So if you impact us negatively, that has a rippling effect around the country. So that's what we're focused on, and also making sure that people are protected and that they understand their rights. We want them to understand their rights so they will be willing to leave their homes. But I just have to tell you that there's a sense of terror and fear. You know, I was going into a bakery yesterday in East LA. They didn't open the door because they saw me pull up. They didn't know who it was. When I showed them it was me, the mayor, you know, of course they readily opened up. But it's an example of the level of fear that people have in the city right now.